Good morning, everybody. How are you? Fine, very good. Okay, so we are going to learn social science, chapter number 11. What is the name of the chapter? Components of environment. This is a chapter which comes under unit second. Unit second is our environment, geography. Okay, we will learn about our environment in the second unit. And what is environment? Environment means the surroundings or conditions of organisms. And in this chapter we will have only the components of environment. We will see the different components of environment. Okay, first of all we are moving to the environment. The term environment denotes the surroundings or external conditions influencing the development or growth of the people, animals or plants. What is environment? Environment is the surroundings or external conditions which influence all the living and non-living beings. Particularly all the living beings have been affected. That external condition or our surrounding has been named as environment. In other words, we can say that the physical and biological conditions in which a living organism lives collectively make up the environment. What is environment? In other way, we can define in this way that it is the physical and biological conditions in which a living organism lives. Okay, the physical and biological conditions that may be difficult for you, so you can learn this definition. Okay, it denotes the, or it means the surroundings or external conditions influence the development of or growth of all the people, animals or plants. Okay, this is what our environment. In a very simple way we can say that environment means all our surroundings. Our surroundings including air, water, soil, land, plants, animals, human beings, everything, they are a part of environment. Now got it? Okay. Now what we will do? We will classify the environment. Okay, we are going to classify the environment. What are the two divisions of environment, groups of environment? Number one is natural environment. First one is natural environment. Second one is cultural environment. Okay, what is natural environment? The environment made by nature. And what is cultural environment? It is also called as human environment. So tell me, what is that? The environment which is made by the human beings, or the changes which are made by the human beings, that is known as cultural or human environment. These are the main two types of environment. Okay, so we are moving. The natural environment, I told you, that is created by the nature. And what are the components of the natural environment? Climate, soil, minerals, plants, animals, water. Okay, there are a lot of things which have been given by the nature, and that environment which is made by the nature is called as natural environment. And the natural environment has two components, two groups are there, two factors are there. What are they? Abiotic and biotic. Abiotic means non-living organisms, non-living things, and biotic means living organisms or living things. Come back. Environment means our surroundings. Environment is of two types. One is natural environment and the other one is cultural environment. Natural environment is two types. Number one, abiotic. Number two, biotic. You have understood this much? Okay. Abiotic means non-living. What are the non-living things? Sunlight, air, water, soil, moisture, all those things which don't have life, they are termed as abiotic components. And what are biotic components? All the living things are known as biotic components. They include human beings, plants and animals. Have you understood it? We have defined the term environment and we have seen the two components of environment. We took the first one, which is that natural environment, and natural environment has two components, which are they? Biotic and abiotic. What do you mean by biotic component? Living organisms. What is abiotic component? Non-living organisms. Examples also you can write. Okay. Now we are moving ahead now. This biotic and abiotic, these two are inseparable. They are inseparable. What do you mean by inseparable? They cannot be separated, and they interact with each other all the time. There is a connection between the abiotic and the biotic components. This physical and biological, biotic living organisms are known as biological component, and the abiotic component is also known as physical component. Physical and biological components are inseparable, which means that they cannot be separated from each other. They don't have an identity by their own. Both of them have to be together in the environment. If there is any change in physical environment, for example, in abiotic environment, if there is any change occurs, do you know what will happen? The biotic component also will be affected. For example, if there is no rain for a longer period of time, what will happen? Temperature increases. Temperature will increase if there is no rainfall. What will the biotic component affected? Yes. What is the biotic component? Human beings, plants and animals. Will we be affected? Yes, we will be. How? Plants will dry. Animals, birds, human beings, we will die because of shortage of water. Everywhere it will be drought. We will not get water to drink. We will die. It means that there is a connection, there is a relation between the physical and biological components. They always are inseparable. They always interact with each other. They don't have their separate identity. So you have got it. Okay. I told you an example that if any change occurs in the physical environment, that affects the biological environment also. Now just see the opposite condition. If any change occurs in the biotic condition, will it affect the abiotic condition also? I'll tell you an example. We, the human beings, what do? We extract, we dig more quantity of minerals. More and more quantities of minerals are being used by the human beings. What will happen, do you know? It will be over. Okay, very simple. It will be over. You don't know the other problems. Okay, I'll tell you next example. Suppose the human beings are cutting all the forest in the world. What will happen? Will it have any problem? Of course it will have problem, because forests are very much important. Why the forests are important, do you know? If the forests are not there, we cannot survive. What is the relation between the human beings and the forest? Yes, they provide us oxygen. Without the oxygen provided by the plants, trees, we cannot survive, we will die. We breathe out carbon dioxide, that increases the temperature of the earth. So to reduce that problem, if we grow more and more trees, what will happen? The plants will absorb the carbon dioxide. They will use the carbon dioxide, then they will give out oxygen. Oxygen is fresh air. So understood, if we cut all the trees, what will happen? We will not get oxygen, number one. Number two, our carbon dioxide will be increased in the environment. Both will create the problems. It means that these physical and biological or biotic or abiotic components are interrelated. They are inseparable. They interact with each other. Okay, so you have got the point, I think. Good. Next one. First of all, we divided the environment into two. What are they? Natural and cultural. Till now we were discussing about the natural component only. Now we are moving to the cultural component. What is the cultural component? Always also known as human environment. Okay, it is known as human environment. Cultural environment is also known as human environment. And what is human environment? It is the road, railway, all the buildings, transport and communication systems, schools, likewise all these things which have been made by the human beings. Bridges have been made by us, beautiful buildings have been made by the human beings, railway stations, bus stands, airports, seaports. These many things have been made by the government, and they are called as cultural or human environment. Have you understood? Understood or not? Yes. This is about the division or two groups of environment. Now you might have heard that the environment varies from place to place. The environment of our country may not be same as of another country. Why? Because the physical conditions like relief and climate are different at each place. Why the environment varies from place to place? Because the relief, the features of the land and climate are different at each place. It is not same. Is the climate of Rajasthan and Jammu Kashmir same? No, it is different. So environment also different. Is the environment of UP same as of Kolkata, Bengal? No, it is different. Why? Because the relief and climate are different. Got it? Okay. So they are the determinants, these relief, climate, etc. They are the determinants, the mode of the life of the people in a region. Whether the region should be populated thickly or thinly, that is decided by the natural factors. Means human factors can act or work if they get the support from the natural factors, otherwise we cannot. You got it now? Okay. Our food, clothes, shelter, economic activities, all these things reflect the differences of natural environment. You know that. Is it the food habit of America same as of India? Do you know? The food habits in different territories are different. The clothes which is worn by Kashmiris, do you also wear the same types of clothes? No, you wear another types, particular different kind of clothes. The way of building the houses, the economic activities which we perform, all are different. In the coastal area, what is the main economic activity of the people? Fishing. And in UP, is it the main activity of the people? No, their farming is the main activity. It means that according to the natural environment, the humans make some changes in their environment also, and our life is completely dependent upon the nature. Okay, let us move ahead now. We can very clearly state that all the components of an organism's natural environment is important for our well-being. For our well-being means for the well-being of that particular organism. Okay, if there is any change taken place in any field of the environment, what will happen? The organism will be affected. I told you an example that if we cut all the trees, what will happen? The organisms will be affected. Is it? Yes. If we pollute, if the amount of pollution, if the rate of pollution increases, what will happen? Organisms will be affected. In this way, even if a minute change occurs in the environment, in the natural environment, then the human environment also will be changed. Okay, it affects the human environment also. You got it? Okay, now let us see. They are inseparable. What are inseparable? Cultural and natural. Natural factors and human factors, or natural environment and human environment are inseparable. Okay, we human beings are also a part of it. What a lot of examples are there in front of us. If there is anything happens in the environment, that directly affects the human beings. Yes or no? Yes, human beings are completely under the control of the natural environment. If anything happens in the natural environment, the human environment also will be changed. Now let us move ahead. We will learn the need to protect our environment. Now we have seen that there are a lot of changes made by the human beings in the environment. We made buildings, we made bridges. Is it? Yes. So because of these many changes, what happened? We develop a lot of things in the environment to fulfill our needs. and it has led to a problem in the nature. It has created some problem in the nature. So what should we do? We should protect our environment. How can we protect our environment? There are some ways given here. Or why should we protect environment? The answer is here. Environment is our basic life support system. Environment protects our life, or it supports our life. It provides us air, water and food, which are very essential. It means that we must protect our environment. Next reason, environment provides us many useful resources such as wood, fuel, minerals, energy, etc. First of all, I told you that it supports our life by providing air, water, etc. Number two, it gives us many useful things also, so that we can develop ourselves, like wood for our various needs, fuel, then mineral, energy, etc. That is also a reason for which we must conserve the resource. We must protect our environment. Third reason is all the economic activities of man adversely affect the environment. All the economic activities of man adversely affect the environment. So what should we do? We should do our economic activities in such a way that which would not create the problem to the nature and our future generations. Next one is irrational use of our natural resources like forest, pastures, agricultural land and minerals has already damaged the environment. What type of use we are having? Irrational use, careless use of these things like forest, pasture, agricultural land, minerals. All these things have been used carelessly by the human beings, irrational use by the human beings, and this irrational use has led to different problems in the environment. It has damaged the environment completely. Last one is, if we do not check the irrational use of our resources, it will have serious consequences for mankind. Okay, if we don't have a rational use, a judicious use, or a careful use of the resources, what will happen? It will have a serious consequence. What we have to do? We have to check the irrational use of our resources. We have to check the irrational use means careless use, like overuse of water. We don't need water, then also our tap is on. We don't need to go out, then also we are taking our bike and going out. In this way, when we are using the resources in a careless manner, that is known as irrational use. If we use the resources in this irrational way, what will happen? It will have some serious consequences for the mankind. Problems have been occurred now in the world. All these problems, root cause is the irrational use of resources by the mankind. Clear now? This much only. Today I am going to wind up the class. What we have learned, let us have a revision now. We learned about the environment, its definition. We classified the environment into two groups as natural and human. Then natural environment was divided into biotic and abiotic. Then what did we learn? Then we have learned the interrelation between the biotic and abiotic components. Okay, finally we have seen the need to protect the environment. These are the points we discussed today. I think you have understood the chapter. Okay, yes. So, take care of yourself, revise the chapter, stay at home only, don't go here and there. Okay, protect yourself. as you try to protect your environment, it is a need to protect yourself so that you can protect your environment. So stay home, stay safe, take care of yourself. Thank you.